Hello everyone, it's that time of year again, and today's seasonal film that I wanted to take a look at for Halloween is going to be 1982's Trick or Treats. This is one I really don't hear too many people talk about. It is one of those forgotten slashers, not really much of a thriller film, not too much going on with the gore either, but it's an interesting, quirky little film. Not too much going on there, but one of the opening scenes is you have a husband and wife having breakfast, and next thing you know, she's actually called some people to cart her husband off to the local asylum. And this scene is actually really funny because at one point in time you have one of the guys from the asylum just kind of dangling off a tree trying to hold or restrain the husband with his legs while the other guy's trying to bind him in some way. So it's just really weird. But the whole deal here is that the wife had grown tired of her husband, and in order to make off with his money, she had him committed to an asylum, and she later just runs off and marries her boyfriend. So the poor guy stays in the asylum about 4 years and eventually does break out on Halloween night, makes it back to his own home, and returns with the intention of killing his wife. Little does he know that she is in Vegas with her boyfriend at some party, so a babysitter has been hired to look after the son, and I don't know, for some reason she seems to resemble his wife. In his eyes, he assumes that she is the wife. The film really doesn't have too much going on. The majority of the time we have the bratty son just sort of torturing or playing pranks on the babysitter. Everything from pretending to behead himself in a guillotine to setting up stunt chairs to where they basically just collapse under her when she sits. You have the whole hand buzzing when doing the handshake gag going on. So there's a lot of constant stuff going on. Not really too much character development. The woman playing the babysitter is supposedly an aspiring actress, and she sort of works for a child care agency in her spare time. So that's pretty much all there really is there. Like I said, not too much gore. The majority of the film is the child just playing pranks on the babysitter, her constantly just falling for them. We do have a bit of quirkiness with the hospital as well. When the husband finally does break out, he disrobes a nurse and pretends to be a woman. Of course, his logic is it's Halloween, everyone's in disguise, so that technically should be the perfect day to try and escape. The whole scenes with the man dressed as a nurse is kind of amusing in itself. There's this one scene where some sort of a sleazeball guy walks up to him, or walks up to the nurse, and tries to offer him / her an alcoholic beverage, and he's just kind of playing off the whole no, leave me alone, and eventually just takes the bottle and runs away with it. So I don't know, it's just one of those films. There's just a bit of quirkiness here and there. There's another scene where I guess he eventually gets tired of wearing women's clothes, and he sort of holds a homeless man at gunpoint and tells him to take off his clothes, including the undergarments, and the nurse man starts taking off his dress. Obviously the bum thinks he's in for the ride of his life, only to realize that it's just a dude trying to steal his clothes. So I'd say pretty much the only highlight of the film is the fact that David Carradine does appear briefly in the beginning. He's probably around for maybe about 10 to 15 minutes or so, but I'd say that's pretty much the only well-known person in the film. I really have no idea who anyone else is, and quite frankly, I really don't care. It's not a bad film, it just, I don't know, it just kind of has this blandness about it. The lighting is very dark. There is some decent acting, good dialogue, but it's a very darkly lit film. The child's antics after a while do become a bit tiresome, and the woman playing the babysitter gradually becomes a lot more aggressive. She becomes more of a jerk, and you're just kind of thinking to yourself, it's like, lady, lay off, you know? It's like, if this kid bothers you that much, quit. You know, nobody's forcing you to stay there. So I don't know. When we finally do get to the ending sequence, the bratty child does team up with the babysitter, and they do sort of take care of the psycho dad slash would-be murderer. And I don't know, there's just this one random scene which I often refer to as the echo effect, to where you have this one ending scene of violence and then the film just fades out, so you're left wondering, did something really happen, or did the babysitter get away? So I'm just going to chalk that up to 80s logic, in the fact that the dad was psycho, even though it technically was never explained. He was just put away to get out of the mother slash wife's way so she could run away with her gigolo boyfriend. You're kind of left wondering, was he really psycho to begin with, or did he just become crazy with anger, or, you know, too many unanswered things. And I blame that on film nowadays. Everyone always needs a damn explanation, please pardon my language, but, you know, this was done to death with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot. Nobody really cares why Leatherface chose to dress as a woman, why Leatherface chose to, you know, murder anybody, or why he was a cannibal. He just did it, and who cares? That's the movie. So I guess you can say they just chalk it up to basic 80s logic, in the sense that the father was crazy, so technically the son has to be crazy, and roll credits. So to my knowledge, this film has never received any recent DVD releases. It was released originally on VHS by Vestron Home Entertainment, and I believe I remember seeing a few versions of this on DVD as part of that mom and pop video shop, or some nonsense like that. I don't know, I haven't really seen any recent DVD releases of this. I would say it's definitely worth checking out, even if you just watch it once just to say you saw it. There's tons of VHS copies still available. I was trying to acquire a DVD copy, and, you know, some jerk just kind of snatched that out from under me. I was watching that online for a while and wasn't too happy, but I still have my VHS, so whatever. Yeah, it's definitely one of those quirky films. You'll have fun watching it if you don't have high expectations. And like I said, it does have good acting. The lighting's a little bad. It's very dark in some points, so it's kind of hard to see what's going on. But I would say, as far as, you know, just one of those 80s obscure films that's constantly overlooked or ignored, that should be reason enough to take a look at this film. So I will leave you to that, and I will talk to you later.